Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Shraddha's Physics.
This part will cover the complex analysis for IIT JAM, GATE, CSIR, NET, TIFR and every other exams.
So to represent a complex number in the polar coordinate means when we are considering the particles is traveling in a two-dimensional plane, then we consider that this is your xy coordinate, or this is in the form of Cartesian coordinate system, or this may be known as the rectangular coordinate system. Simply while we are dealing with the polar form, we will simply change this to r comma theta. R comma theta means here simply you can imagine that, for example, while we will consider a circle having radius r, the circle having radius r, and suppose we are travelling from A point to B point, so that it makes an angle theta, then the relation between the r and theta, or simply we can say that here I am going to convert this Cartesian coordinate system to the polar form or the polar coordinate system. So let us consider for the complex number here, this is our real axis, this is real x, and this axis is suppose imaginary y, so that we are considering that this angle is theta. Suppose this is our point P, that is suppose x comma y, or we can simply say that if I will draw a perpendicular on the x axis, then from this O to A, this point is x, and again similarly if I will plot a perpendicular or draw a perpendicular on the imaginary y axis, then this point suppose B, this OB is simply y, and here this O to P, this distance is r. Now we can say that our cosine theta, that is cos theta, equal to, we can write cos theta is B by h. If this angle is theta, then its front side will be the perpendicular, and this OA part is the B. So we can write that this cos theta will be x divided by h is the OP, that is r. So this is cos theta equal to x by r, or simply we can say that x equal to r cosine theta. Similarly, if I will take sin theta, then sin theta, you know, this is the P by h. So P is here, this distance is y, also this AP is y. So I can write sin theta equal to y by r. Our hypotenuse is r, so that y equal to r sin theta. We can write like this. Here we have considered this r means the, if we will imagine that this r is the radius vector, here this r must be greater than 0. Actually it may be 0, or here we are considering that r is, it may be r greater or equal to 0, but here we are consider this value is r greater than 0. Here x equal to r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta. If I will square and add these two equation, that is 1 and 2, then this will be x square equal to r square cos square theta, and y square will be r square sin square theta. So that x square plus y square, this will be equal to, taking r square common, cos square theta plus sin square theta, that will becomes 1. So that this r will be equal to the root over of x square plus y square. Clear? This r will be equal to x square plus y square root over. Simply now we can calculate theta. Now you can see that this theta will be equal to theta, or we can say that this tan theta, simply this is tan theta, we know tan theta equal to P by B. So P is here y divided by x, or that is theta equal to tan inverse theta equal to tan inverse y by x, or we can say that this theta will be equal to tan inverse y is the imaginary part divided by this is the real part, or simply we can say that this is tan inverse imaginary part of z divided by this is the real part of z, you can remember that z we have considered that z equal to x plus I y. This is the complex representation. We have already considered z is the complex number that is equal to x plus I y. So that this theta, that is theta equal to, we can write tan inverse of imaginary part of z divided by the real part of z. Clear? This theta is the also known as the argument of z. Here I am writing, this is the small a argument of z, which is equal to tan inverse of y by x. Here you can see that this theta that we have considered, this is in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, when you will consider, this is important, you must remember that this theta is known as the argument of z, or this is the angle made by the complex number with the real axis. Okay, this is the angle made by the complex number with the real axis. So this theta value will be positive, this theta will be positive if the direction is in the anti-clockwise, if this direction is anti-clockwise, and the theta value will be negative if the direction will be positive, or we can, sorry, this theta will be negative if this will be in the clockwise direction. Positive if this is anti-clockwise direction, and negative if it will be in the clockwise direction. Clockwise direction means if the direction is like this, then here the theta can be considered as negative, and in this direction theta is here positive. Clear? This distance is r, and also here this distance is r. This is known as the argument of z, small argument of z. There are two properties of argument. First property is the argument of z1 into z2. z1 z2 means when I will write z1 z2 or z whatever, so you must think that z is my complex number, and also this z1 z2 represent the complex numbers. These are two complex numbers, z1 and z2. So argument of z1 into z2 will be equal to argument of z1 plus argument of z2, just like the logarithmic function. Okay. Similarly, for the argument of, here I am writing the small argument, so this argument of z1 divided by z2, that will be equal to argument of z1 minus argument of z2. So this is the properties of the argument. Here this is the properties of argument. Properties of argument. Okay. Now we will discuss what is principal argument. Okay, we will discuss about what is principal argument. This principal argument, it is denoted by capital A argument of z. We have to denote it like this, argument of z. Okay. When the theta, this theta, it lies between minus pi plus pi, this is your open bracket and this is your close bracket, minus pi to pi, then this theta is called the principal argument of the complex number. So it means that here minus pi comma pi means minus, the theta lies between minus pi to plus pi like this, minus pi less than theta, lesser equal to pi. So clearly I am telling what is the basic difference between this small argument of z and capital argument of z. So let us see, this capital argument of z is also known as the principal argument. This capital argument is known as the principal argument of z. This small argument of z, it is known as, it is called basically the multi-valued function. This is called multi-valued function. And capital argument of z, it is known as the single valued function. It is the single valued function. It means that in case of this argument of z, small argument of z, here if I will plot a curve, suppose I am considering the complex number z, it has same value for some interval. That means if I will consider the theta value, this theta is suppose pi by 4, then plus 2n pi rotation. After 2n pi rotation, this value remains same. It means that if I will start from this point, then after this 2 pi orientation I will come back to the same point, and again after the 2 pi rotation I will come back to the same point. 2n pi means n will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. These are the integer. Then first for your 2 pi, then for your 4 pi, again you will reach at the same point. So we can simply write as the small argument of z, this small argument of z is equal to theta plus 2n pi, or n equal to, where n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Okay. And here this is single valued function, means here the theta lies between minus pi to plus pi, or you can see the symbol, that is minus pi less than theta lesser equal to pi. It means that if we will start from one point, this is suppose at this point theta equal to 0, we are starting from this point in the anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise direction is your positive direction. Okay. In this direction, then this is the positive theta. In this direction, and we will reach at this point, that is your theta equal to some, this is suppose theta equal to minus pi I am saying. And similarly, if I will move from this point in the clockwise direction from theta equal to 0, I will reach at this point, not exactly will touch this point theta equal to minus pi. It means that this point, I am suppose this point is B, I am writing this point as B, then it will not come back to this exact point. It means that if I will exactly come to this point, that is B, then we are considering this point twice. So that here we can say that while we are going from this theta equal to 0 in the anti-clockwise direction, we will reach at this point, and in the clockwise direction we will reach at this point just before this point we will reach. Okay. If this is the theta equal to pi, if this is theta equal to pi in this direction, if it will reach in, that is the theta equal to pi, then we are considering minus pi angle and pi angle twice. So whether you consider this minus pi or plus pi, so you must take any one of it, so that will be 1 is included here. Now let us see how we will convert this small argument of z to capital argument of z. So here we know this argument of z, I am writing this argument of z is nothing but this theta plus the 2n pi, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 etc. Here n equal to, I can write this as your 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 and so on. Okay. This theta is nothing but the capital argument of z. Okay. Here I am writing this theta as the capital argument of z plus 2n pi. This is equal to the argument of z. Argument of z is the capital argument of z plus 2n pi. Here we will see the principal argument. How will we consider? Suppose this is your first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay. So here if the theta lies in the first quadrant, then the argument of z, we can write the argument of z, capital argument of z, this will be equal to the small argument of z, so that will be equal to theta. Clear? Theta is the angle made with the real axis. Okay. This is your real x axis. This part is your real x axis. Similarly, if this theta lies in the second quadrant, so then that capital argument of z, this will be equal to pi minus theta. Okay. And similarly, if it lies in the third quadrant, then capital argument of z, we can write this as the minus of pi minus theta. Okay. And if it lies in the fourth quadrant, then capital argument of z will be equal to minus of theta. Clear? This is your important. This is your first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Okay. So, what we conclude, that is small argument of z, it is also known as the amplitude of z and also equal to theta, that is equal to tan inverse of the imaginary part of z, that is y, divided by the real part of z, that is x, that is theta equal to tan inverse y by x, or simply we are considering that since this argument of z has this small argument of z is the multi-valued function, in that case we can write this argument of z is equal to capital argument of z plus 2n pi, where n varies from 0 plus or minus 1, n equal to 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 and so on. Okay. So, let us take an example. Suppose it is given that here z equal to suppose 1 plus iota root over 3, and you have to find, the question is you have to find small argument of z and capital argument of z, or the principal argument of z and simply the argument of z. So, first of all this argument of z equal to, this is equal to theta plus 2n pi. So, for this we have to first calculate the value of theta. So, theta equal to, we can write, this is the tan inverse the imaginary part or y by x. Here this is z equal to 1 plus iota root over 3. If I will compare with the equation, that is z equal to x plus iota into y, here x equal to 1 and y equal to root over 3. So, theta equal to, I can write tan inverse root over 3 by 1 or simply tan inverse root 3. Hence, theta equal to pi by 3 radian, theta equal to pi by 3 radian. So, we can write the argument of z, small argument of z, this will be theta means pi by 3 plus 2n pi means n equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 so on. So, this will be plus 2n pi. Okay, where n equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on, where n equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. Now, we will see what is the value of capital argument of z. This capital argument of z is nothing but, this is the principal argument, capital argument of z is the theta, that is equal to pi by 3. It is a single valued function. It means that for only pi by 3, this is the argument of z, and when the multi-valued function exists means n equal to 0, 1, 2 so on, then this will be the small argument of z, that is pi by 3 plus 2n pi. Clear? So, this is all about the polar form of the complex number. Let us consider z is a complex number, that is we can express it in the form of z equal to x plus iota y. Okay. Now, you have to calculate the roots of the z. Suppose this is z power n. We can express this, let us consider z power n is w. It means that w is equal to w power 1 by n, I can write it equal to z. Okay, if I will multiply 1 by n in the both power, so this will be z power 1 equal to w power 1 by n. Now, we will express this z in terms of the polar form, that is z equal to r exponential iota into theta, and this w is equal to, suppose p exponential iota phi. These are the two complex number. Okay. Now, if I write z power n, that is suppose z power n means r exponential I theta power n, that will be equal to w. It means that this will be equal to p exponential iota into phi, because z power n equal to w. So, in place of z I am writing r exponential I theta, and this is the power n, that will be equal to w, that is p exponential iota into phi. Hence, I can, if I will compare this will be r power n into, I am writing again, this will be r power n into exponential I n theta, this will be equal to p exponential I phi. If I will compare this left hand side and right hand side, then this will be r power n equal to p. So I am writing this r power n equal to p, or I can write this r equal to 1 by n of p, or this is the p root n, and exponential I n theta equal to exponential I phi, so that I can write this phi equal to n into theta. I can write this phi will be equal to, if I will compare this exponential I n theta with the exponential I phi, then n theta will be equal to phi, or this n theta can be written as, this n theta can be written as equal to pi plus, this will be pi plus 2k pi, this will be pi plus 2k pi, because after 2 pi orientation this complex number remains the same value. Or you can write this theta will be equal to, this will be equal to, this is your phi by n, okay, this is your phi plus 2k pi, this n theta equal to phi, so this will be n theta equal to phi plus 2k pi. So this theta equal to phi by n plus 2k pi divided by n. We are dividing n in the both sides, so this theta will be equal to phi by n plus 2k pi by n. So if I will write this in this z equal to r exponential I theta, then I have to put this r equal to here p power 1 by n, and in the place of theta I have to put theta equal to phi by n plus 2k pi by n. Now I can write this z will be equal to, in place of r, this will be equal to p power 1 by n or root nth into exponential iota, in place of theta I am writing phi by n plus 2k pi by n. This is 2k pi by n. Clear? So this is the roots of the complex number z, or if I will put k equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on, I will get the first root, second root, third root and so on. Clear? So let us take an example so that it will be very clear to you. Now calculate the fourth roots of the complex number, that is z equal to minus 3. So first of all you have to think, that is, we know z equal to r exponential I theta, this is r exponential I theta, or if I will put the value of exponential I theta, this will be r into cosine theta plus I sin theta, this will be I sin theta, okay. So here z equal to minus 3, so I have to think what will be the value of cos theta plus I sin theta, so that the value will be minus 1. Since there is the absence of the imaginary part I, so definitely in this cos theta I have to put the some value of theta, so that this will becomes the minus 1. I know the cos pi is minus 1, so this will be equal to, I can write this as 3 into cosine pi, this will be 3 into cosine pi plus iota sin pi, so that sin pi is your 0 and cos pi is your minus 1, simply 3 into minus 1 is 3. So I am writing z equal to minus 3 as 3 into cos pi plus I sin pi. Now here I have to calculate the fourth roots of the complex number. So let us take, in place of pi I can write this is your pi plus 2k pi, because I know after 2 pi orientation the value remains same, because theta, in place of theta, that is the argument of z, I can write this theta plus 2k pi, this is your small argument of z, and this capital theta is your principal argument. So here I can write this 3 into, this will be cos pi plus, I can write this is your plus 2k pi, and here plus iota sin pi plus 2k pi, this will be pi plus 2k pi. Clear? I can write like this, this will be cos pi plus 2k pi plus I sin pi plus 2k pi. Here I have to calculate the fourth root, means z power 1 by 4 I have to calculate. So I can write it as 3 power 1 by 4, again this total bracketed term power 1 by 4. So here I am direct writing this as 3 power 1 by 4, z power 1 by 4 equal to 3 power 1 by 4 into cos pi plus 2k pi plus I sin pi plus 2k pi whole power 1 by 4. Clear? By applying the de Moivre's theorem, that is, when this is the cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n will be, this will be cos n theta plus I sin n theta. So simply I can write this as 3 power 1 by 4 into this will be cosine. So in place of this is your total is theta. So I am writing this as your cos theta plus I sin theta whole power n. N is equal to 1 by 4 here. So here I am multiplying this 1 by 4 here. This will becomes pi plus 2k pi divided by 4. So I am writing here pi plus 2k pi whole divided by 4, and similarly plus iota sin, this will be pi plus 2k pi divided by 4. Clear? This is, here we have applied the de Moivre's theorem. Since in the question it has been asked to calculate the fourth root, it means that you have to put the value of k, that is equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. So these are the fourth roots. That is, when k equal to 0, you can calculate z power 1 by 4. So let us calculate. For the first root I am writing this as, suppose w1 when k equal to 0. So when k equal to 0, this will be 3 power 1 by 4, and in this place cos, this is pi by 4. So this will be cosine pi by 4 plus I sin pi by 4, because in this place 2k pi, k is equal to 0. So this will be sin pi by 4. So this value cos pi by 4 is your 1 by root 2, and this will be plus iota sin pi by 4 is also 1 by root 2, and here this is 3 power 1 by 4. So this is the first root. Similarly, you can calculate for w2, that will be k equal to 1, and similarly you have to put here k equal to 1. So this will be 2 pi plus pi, that will be 3 pi by 4, and here sin 3 pi by 4. And for w3 you have to put k equal to 2, and here you have to put the value of k equal to 2 in the cosine and sine term, and similarly you can calculate this fourth root. Now you can calculate these things. I am writing here the final answer, and you have to calculate it. So that will be, the w will be equal to 3 power 1 by 4 whole into plus or minus, this will be 1 by root 2, again plus or minus, this will be iota 1 by root 2. So you can calculate this. Okay, 1 for 1 is 1 by root 2 plus iota 1 by root 2, again minus 1 by root 2, minus 1 by root 2, and so on. You can calculate by yourself. This is the simplest way to calculate the roots of the complex number. Now let us take the examples of the cube roots of unity. Here I am considering that our complex number is z, and that is equal to the cube root of 1. So this cube root of 1, that is equal to, or I can write it as 1 power 1 by 3, or this can be written as 1, in place of 1 I can write this as exponential iota 2n pi whole power 1 by 3 I can write. Okay. So this is the z equal to exponential I 2n pi power 1 by 3, or this is equal to simply this z equal to, I can write exponential iota 2n pi by 3. Okay. Now here the n has the value 0, 1 and 2. There are 3 values, because we are going to calculate the cube root of unity. Now for n equal to 0, if I will put for n equal to 0, then z will be equal to, in place of n, so this will be exponential 0. So this exponential 0 is nothing but 1. So I can write this exponential 0 equal to 1. Similarly for n equal to 1, if I will put, then z will be equal to this exponential, in place of n we are putting 1. So this will be exponential iota 2 pi by 3. Okay. If I will split, then I can write it as, this will be cosine 2 pi by 3, this will be cosine 2 pi by 3 plus iota sine 2 pi by 3, sine 2 pi by 3. Okay. and this cosine 2 pi by 3 is equal to minus half, and sine 2 pi by 3 is plus root 3 by 2. So, this will be plus iota root 3 by 2. Similarly, for n equal to 2, I can write this complex number z will be equal to exponential, in place of n we are putting 2. So, this will be exponential iota 4 pi by 3. This will be exponential iota 4 pi by 3. So, this will be equal to cosine 4 pi by 3 plus iota sine 4 pi by 3. Clear? So, this will be equal to cos 4 pi by 3 is minus half and sine 4 pi by 3 is minus root 3 by 2. So, this will be minus iota root 3 by 2. Okay. So, these three roots for n equal to 0, 1, 2, we can write it as for 1, this is 1, and this minus half plus iota root 3 by 2 is generally denoted by omega. This is represented as omega, and this minus half minus iota root 3 by 2 is written by omega square. This will be 1 omega and omega square. These are the three cube roots of the unity or 1. Okay. Now, let us see the properties of the cube roots of unity. That will be equal to, we have written, that is for 1 this is 1, and for minus half plus iota root 3 by 2 this will be equal to omega, and for minus half minus iota root 3 by 2 this will be equal to omega square. Okay. So, this 1 plus, first I am writing the first property, that will be 1 plus omega square. This will be equal to, you can see, if I will add these 3, then this will be 1 plus minus half becomes minus 1, 1 minus 1, this becomes 0, this plus iota root 3 by 2 minus iota root 3 by 2 get cancelled. So, that will be equal to 0. So, if I will add these 3, 1 plus omega square, this will gives to 0, and similarly if we will multiply 1 into omega square, so this value will be equal to 1. So, you can see here, if I will multiply this minus half plus iota root 3 by 2, and omega square is its complex conjugate, that is in place of iota simply we have put the negative sign. So, this will be its complex conjugate, and if we will multiply these 3, then we will get 1, and this is nothing but, we can write it also as, this will be omega cube equal to 1. Clear? Or simply we can write this as omega cube whole power n, this is also equal to 1. Clear? These are the some properties. Now, let us take an example. Here the question is, if 1 omega and omega square are the complex cube roots of unity, then the value of 1 plus omega square into 1 minus omega square plus omega power 4 into 1 minus omega power 4 plus omega power 8, so on up to 2n factor, then what is the value of this? We are going to calculate. So, you can write this as, this will be equal to, I can write this will be 1 plus omega plus this is omega square into, in place of the second term I can write this is 1 minus omega square plus omega 4. When omega 4 is written, that will be equal to omega cube into omega. Okay. Omega cube you know 1. So, 1 into omega is your omega. So, I can write here plus omega. This is for the second term, that is for omega 4 we are writing omega. Then for the third term we can write 1 minus, again for omega 4 I am writing omega, and for omega power 8 we can write it as omega power 3 whole square into, this is omega power 3 whole square into omega square. So, you know omega power 3 is 1, 1 square is 1 into omega square. So, this will becomes 1 minus omega plus this will be omega square, and so on up to the 2n factor. Clear? Now, this will be equal to, hence we can write this will be 1, sorry there is a little mistake, this will be 1 minus omega plus omega square in this question. So, this will be 1 minus omega plus omega square. So, this will be 1 minus omega, the first term only. This will be 1 minus omega plus omega square whole into, this will be 1 minus omega square plus omega, and here you can see that this term is 1 minus omega plus omega square, and here also you can see this is also 1 minus omega plus omega square. So, this term will continue up to the n times, and similarly this second term, fourth term, they will continue up to the n terms. So, this for the second term I can write 1 minus omega square plus omega, this is power n, clear, 1 minus omega plus omega square. Again this term, this first and third term is same. So, first term, first, third, fifth and so on, this term will remain same. So, this will continue for up to the nth term, and similarly 1 minus omega square plus omega and so on for the second, fourth, sixth, that term will get the same value. So, this will be power n. Again this will be equal to, I can write this as, in place of 1 minus omega plus omega square, you can see that what I want to write, 1 plus omega square equal to 0. Here in place of 1 plus omega square, I can write here in place of 1 plus omega square, this is nothing but minus omega. So, here I can write this will be minus omega, in again this minus omega. So, hence power n, minus omega power n, and similarly here for 1 plus omega, I can write minus omega square. So, this will be minus omega square, and this term minus omega square whole power n I can write. So, this will be equal to minus 2 omega whole power n. Again this minus omega square becomes minus 2 omega square whole power n. Okay. This will be equal to minus, I can write this as minus into minus, this will be becomes plus, or simply we can write this as minus 2 omega into minus 2 omega square whole power n, I can write like this. So, that this will be equal to minus into minus, this becomes plus, 2 into 2, that will be 4, again this will be omega cube whole power n. Okay. This omega cube power n is nothing but your 1. So, this will be equal to 4 power n, clear, or simply we can write this as 2 power 2n. So, you can see that the properties of the cube root of unity can be used here. Okay. This is all for today. Thank you.